Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode of Booked. I'm your host, Saffron Asteria, and I'm joined today by Michael Bettendorf. I hope that I pronounced your name correctly. I didn't ask you.
No, that's perfect. It's very phonetic, and you'd be surprised how many people stumble over it. But it's fine. Yeah, you
Good.
did awesome.
Okay. It makes me very nervous when I have to say other people's names because I know how to say my name because I don't say it every day. That would be weird. But I say it a lot. More often than I say other people's names. Anyway, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I have, my dog is laying on the floor next to me, and I'm full of coffee and zero complaints. Zero complaints.
Excellent. Now I have to ask, what is your dog's name and what flavor of dog is it?
Her name's Clover,
Oh,
and
that's cute.
yeah, right. And she is uh, a good old Heinz 57. So she's just a bunch of stuff. Primarily, like I think she's like 60% Australian cattle dog mixed with
Wow.
border collie and lab and this and that. So
Mhm.
she kind of looks like a dingo,
Oh,
you know, a little bit of a fox, dingo, fox, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
amazing. That's very, very cute. I love a Heinz 57 dog. They're kind of the best.
yeah, she really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I had to put my dog in a different room because we took her off anxiety medication that she's like better off for not having it because she was a rescue.
Mm.
And she was on anxiety medication and I get it. And we ran out because not that you need to know this, but this is why we took her off of it. But we ran out because we had this like auto refill thing,
Mm.
and they hadn't shipped it on time, so we were like without pills for a couple days, and we were like, "Oh, this dog is happier. She's having a better time." But I suppose she was on the meds because like she wasn't happy where she was, and now she's got a cool life. But yeah,
Nice.
but because of that, she's gotten really brave and barks all the time. Like
Uh,
every time there's a sound, like when I talk to people on the shows and stuff, I found that she's like, "Who is it? Are they here?" I'm like, "No, they're in the screen, but you can't see that because you're a dog."
yeah. Right. Sorry to confuse you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel bad for it. Like when I say hello, and she goes, "What the fuck?"
Who are you talking to? And why aren't
Exactly.
they here? Why aren't they giving me attention?
Exactly. It happens when I answer the phone as well. It's a nightmare. But
Hmm.
overall, she's like better off for it. So we
Hmm.
have a couple
That's
of people
awesome.
in the chat already.
Oh yeah.
We have Grant Matheson. Thank you for joining us today. Um, and I'm not sure who you are. You're new. Hello, Patch
That guy.
30 30
Oh,
30.
I think I know who that is. I believe if I had to guess, that's my buddy Steven. Uh,
Nice.
he's in the UK.
Oh,
So, yeah,
nice. That's cool.
he's
Well,
awesome. Yeah,
if
he's
it is
fellow
Stephen,
writer and buddy. So
excellent. Even if you're not Stephen, I'm going to call you Stephen now. I hope that's okay. I've named you. So, for those who don't know you or haven't heard of your work before, what sorts of things do you write?
so I'm kind of all over, which I think is great because
Mhm.
I never want to get stuck into just one thing. So I kind of, I write all over. My background is in lit fic. Like I went to school for writing and all that. So of course, we read a lot of the Alice Munro's, Raymond Chandler, or Raymond Carver rather, not Raymond Chandler. I read Raymond Chandler, but anyway.
Mhm.
Uh, so a lot of that stuff is kind of what I was like brought up on. But like I've also always been a sci-fi, fantasy, crime, all the genres. Like I'm a big fan of. So
Mhm.
I kind of blend all of that into my work. So um, a lot of my short fiction tends to be um, a lot of it's kind of surreal, a little weird,
Mhm.
slipstreamy, but lit fic tinged, sci-fi tinged, stuff like that. And then my longer stuff, like True Cult's definitely, like a weird horror, choose your own adventure style book.
Yeah.
And then um, Midwestern Chrome is 100%, tech noir, detective-y, street level crime stuff meet sci-fi.
Mhm.
And then uh, Snakes, of course, is going to be a goofy, like sort of light body horror meets literary bizarro
Mhm.
weird realm. So yeah, a little bit of everything. So
Yeah, you definitely have like a huge back catalogue of published works as well. Like you've got your 3 books, 2 of which are out, 1 is coming January next year, and you've got like a lot of like nonfiction, short stories, poetry flowing out there in the ether. Um, do you sort of follow your heart when it comes to like the form that your story is going to take? Do you sit down and go, I'm going to write a book now? How does that work for you?
um, well, yeah, I really do kind of just go with what happens. I think oftentimes
Mhm.
it'll start with an idea like, oh, this could be a decent poem. Like I've got the flowery language already, or like a line that I think would work maybe in a like a stanza or something. But
Mm.
um, oftentimes it just kind of starts with an idea. And like I just finished a piece a couple days ago that started as um, very much a let's just see if I can get to 3 or 4 thousand words. Let's just throw a
Mhm.
nice little short story together, and it ended up being damn near 15,000 words, and now I have a novelette sitting in my
Amazing.
lap that I need to revise and mess with. So, um, very much, like it's both like I feel like it's to my benefit and to my detriment that I kind of do this to myself because
Yeah.
I'm not a very good outliner. That's probably like one of my weakest like writer things that I do is just my
Mhm.
outlines are not super detailed. Oftentimes I just, follow a butterfly around. Like
Mhm.
that's just what I do. And um both my writing group and my editor have, they call me a discovery writer, which I
Mhm.
think is a very nice way to say you just fall around and find out.
It does sound
So
more professional, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, like I tend when it comes to longer works, I do outline. It's just again, they're very thin. It's
Mhm.
very much like hopefully I have an ending in mind, but I definitely have more of the like characters and concepts
Yeah.
kind of floating around and then I follow them and hope that it allows my brain to wander and like let things just kind of happen. But it's
Mhm.
nice to have those milestones and those plot points to also keep me like focused and grounded because otherwise
Mhm.
I wouldn't get anything done. So, you know,
Sounds familiar and relatable.
yeah,
So I think it is important to, especially if you're intent on finishing something or if you want like strangers to read it, you kind of have to set those boundaries for yourself. Otherwise, as you say, you could just float about forever. Do you ever just write for the pleasure of writing for yourself and you don't share those things, or do you publish most of the stuff that you write?
that's a really great question. I haven't in a while,
Mhm.
but I do. Oftentimes in the form of drabbles
Mhm.
because I think it's such a concise way of forming a story, and I think
Mhm.
um, they're also easy enough to fit into a schedule. Like I
Mhm.
can, if I'm sitting at my lunch break at work, I can, dance around the page and maybe write a drabble, and it's kind
Yeah.
of fun. And sometimes they go places, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're just for me.
Mhm.
Um, but no, but yeah, admittedly, I haven't journaled in God knows how long, years. I used to all the time. And I really don't a lot anymore. And as far as like writing for just me, I mean, I guess I could argue if I really want to be kind of pedantic, and I could argue that everything I write is sort of for me.
Mhm.
Like I said, I write whatever genre I feel like writing. I write whatever. Like I try not to like put myself into a corner.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's always in the back of my head, like, okay, is this going to get sent to XYZ? Is this going
Yeah.
to go into another collection?
Mhm.
Is anyone going to buy this thing? So like, it is kind of a tough balance to try to strike. And
Mm.
yeah, I think you just gave me inadvertently. I think you just gave me a goal to try to do is maybe just write for myself more often. So thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I talk to such a wide range of writers, and everybody has a different goal and they have a different reason for writing. And it sounds like you have not only been writing for a lot of your life, writing sort of weaves its way into most of your day because you're a library tech.
Yeah, library tech.
Yeah.
I work in a library, in a high school library. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
So like the written word is part of your like pretty much every single day. Whereas some people they'll just like squeeze in a little bit, which you know, it doesn't make them any less of a writer. But what I'm saying is it seems to be so interwoven with who you are as a person. It would make sense to me that you would also write like for personal reasons as well. So the fact that you have previously journaled, I was like, I got that right. But yeah, it's definitely like most writers that I speak to that are the most passionate about what they do tell me that they largely write for themselves because they want the thing to exist for their own joy and passion, or they like wish this thing existed because nobody else has written that thing. And you can always tell in people's writing when they've written for themselves as a reader versus if they're writing for the market. And there's nothing wrong with either, but I just find it an interesting experience either way.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, I think my lights are confusing they're confusing my laptop camera, I think,
Okay.
because it keeps going like dark light. It can't focus, which is fine, and it's very fitting because I can't focus. So it's
I thought you were just having a disco.
yeah. No, I wish. But but no, I think you're right. That I think that is how a lot of people approach their writing, how it's interwoven and all that. So
Yeah. So have you been writing for a lot of your life, like since you were a kid, or is it a sort of more recent thing?
um well, like I remember writing as a kid, but not a lot. So okay, how to put this? I wouldn't say I didn't really start writing much or like with any intention
Mhm.
until probably college,
Okay,
actually. Um, and so sorry, I'm starting to hear myself.
that's okay. That's a very annoying thing to happen.
Okay.
I can't
So
hear any repetition, but if it's distracting you, then obviously you can fiddle around with it.
it's okay. I might just turn my volume down quick. There we go. I think that's better. So um, yeah, so I started I started off college thinking I'd be going into tech, right?
Mhm.
Um, I was going to be kind of flip flopped between going through an MIS program, so Management Information Systems, which is basically the business end of things, marrying the computer science side of things.
Okay.
Um, and because at the time, without saying this, they basically said, we're learning that our computer scientists don't have people skills. So this program is for people to get people skills. And so our programmers can also talk to the people buying our software or whatever the case. So anyway,
Fantastic.
that's what I was thinking I was going to go into.
Mhm.
Um, Mostly because I like in high school and even a little earlier than high school, like I've always been a tinkerer and I loved like I
Hmm.
built my first computer out of my uncle's spare parts in like eighth grade.
Oh wow.
Um, and but anyway, long story short, I found that what I liked about computers wasn't the software, it wasn't the programming. The math was always just out of reach for me. Like
Mm.
I got good grades, blah blah blah, but like it wasn't something I was passionate about or even very good at. Like
Mm.
it wasn't natural either. It was just like I just struggled so hard with math until like in order to get those grades, it was like, you know. So then when I was in my first year of college doing this stuff, I was like, yeah, this ain't it. And then after that, I kind of went into uh, like I was gonna do some thinking about doing an art program. So I was in art for a little while, thinking maybe I would do uh, t-shirt and album designs for bands, maybe
Oh,
tattoo
cool.
work.
Yeah.
Like those were kind of what I was thinking. And then it turns out that I do not have the discipline to be a visual artist.
Mhm.
Um, and but then I was like, well, let's see what the English department looks like, right? I mean, I've always been a reader. So while I haven't been writing since I was a kid, I've been reading forever.
Yeah.
So like stories and that kind of thing has always been um, just like a integral part of me.
Hmm.
So while I haven't been writing my whole life,
Hmm.
like I've always been a really creative person and like a visual, like story type of person. Like was always building Legos, and within those Legos, I was telling stories. Like it was all
Hmm.
like, "Oh, I'm gonna build this ship because this character, this is what they're doing." Like playing a bunch of Star Fox 64, I'm gonna make a ship that looks like the R wing, and then I'm gonna like build my own little world around it, and
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
like, and then of course, video games. I was a big RPG fan, so
Hmm.
like those are stories. So um, yeah, very long-winded way to say I've been writing more since college.
Yeah.
Um, which, you know, now that I want to admit it, is a lot longer ago than I'd like to accept anymore. So, uh, about half my life at this point, though. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
So when did you first start writing for publication? Is that was that an easy decision for you? Was it something that you went with like intention to do?
Um, yes and no. I think I I submitted some stuff when I was in school only
Mhm.
because I remember one of our teachers was like, "Oh, you can submit to the school's thing and maybe get some money." And I submitted something that was, and
Mhm.
zero expectations. And they admittedly, they didn't. This is probably true for a lot of writing programs, but I
Mhm.
feel like they did not teach us anything about submission process, how to even write a query letter, how to talk to an editor, like
Mhm.
none of that stuff. It was just like, this is the structure of fiction, and like, we're going to talk about voice and stuff. But then as far as what to do with it, they're like, figure it out.
Mhm.
But, but yeah, so I think um, I actually started writing longer work. Like I didn't start writing short stories. I one of my creative writing classes in school, um, I started writing a novel the summer before I had that final class, and I was working at at the dorms. I was like working a desk shift because I that's what I did in school. And you know, uh, a if you fell asleep on the job, it was automatic fire. Like you were automatically fired. So I was like, I need something to do to stay awake, especially during the summer when I didn't have homework.
Mhm.
And I mean, this was back before like I didn't like YouTube was around, but like this was the or the late aughts, 2010, 12,
Yeah.
around there. So like I didn't I didn't have streaming on my laptop. I didn't
Mhm.
even think to bring my laptop to work half the time. It just wasn't something I did. I didn't have a smartphone in college, so
Mhm.
like I usually brought books, and then I decided to bring my laptop to write. That turned into a novel.
Mm.
I will, never see the light of day. But what was important about that novel is it taught me that I could do it.
Yeah.
Like it was just a huge confidence builder. Like, cool, I wrote a thing. Yeah, and it also worked for the class. So,
Mm.
but as far as writing for publication, I think the first thing I had published was a flash story in 2017, I think.
Oh wow.
Um, and so, for reference, I graduated college in 2012. So, like,
Mhm.
I was just working random jobs and writing in my spare time, just figuring stuff out. Not It wasn't that I wasn't taking it seriously, but it was more that I just didn't have the guidance. I didn't know what the fuck to do with any of it. It was like,
Yeah.
cool, I'm writing, but what do I do with it? Like, again, they didn't, the program I was in didn't teach us about submissions. They didn't. I had no idea about any of that. So then, um, I was writing for. I was doing some like comics criticism for a little while, and some of the people I was writing with and interacting with a lot, like they have written both creative work and like nonfiction stuff, and they've submitted, been paid for, and stuff like that. So then they were kind of like, oh yeah, like you should maybe start a Twitter account, which was good for a while, and then right, and then
And it turned to
and
shit.
then yeah, right. But so then anyway, so it was kind of through that weird spiral of being on Twitter with like some writing community folks, as well as like trying to learn and get some guidance and all that. And then
Mhm.
that's when it turned into, okay, like maybe start submitting some stuff. And then when I got the piece accepted, it turned into, oh shit, like people actually do want to read some of this stuff. That's cool. So then I started writing more short fiction, just because I was kind of under the impression like, oh, if you don't have things under your name, you don't have publications under your name, agents won't pay attention to you, your longer
Mhm.
work's not going to matter anyway. So then there were several years in there where I wasn't writing a lot of longer work.
Mhm.
I was just working on short stuff to like build a portfolio, as gross as that sounds. But at this,
Smart thing.
it's pretty much what it was. Like,
Mhm.
it didn't mean I didn't care about any of it, but it was definitely, a lot of it was like, okay, this is just part of the writing world and the process. So then,
Mhm.
um, but yeah, I would say probably around 2017 was when I was really starting to like dig into writing with intention, writing to sell to markets.
Mhm.
Um, and even then, I would argue that it wasn't until 2021-ish when I had the confidence to even submit to places that would pay me. Like,
Oh,
I
wow.
didn't like there was a lot of I was submitting to a lot of non-paying markets, and like, not I mean, not to dog on them. I think they're great. I've got some stories, and I've got a lot of stories in non-paying markets, and I get it. You can't always, I don't know. That's a whole weird hairy thing, I think.
Mhm.
But um eventually I was told, and my writing group was like, nah, fuck that. You gotta don't give away your work. They're like,
Yeah.
basically, don't give away your work. Submit to places that'll pay you. And
Mhm.
every now and then, if there's a market you really like, the people are really cool, or maybe it's a charity or whatever, they're like, just you have to set that limit of like how much you're willing to kind of like give away, so to
Yeah.
speak. So
Mhm. I think it's good to have something that's accessible to potential readers for them to get a taste of what sorts of things that you do write and how what your style's like and if they jive with it. But yeah, I do think like I personally have this like really mixed opinion because I'm like people have got to make money because people invest a lot of time and money into creating these things. But I'm also like, but reading should be really accessible, but that's why we have libraries. So, there are a lot of, moving parts to it, and there are a lot of different sorts of choices that people can make. But I think
mhm.
you're right. It's important to acknowledge when your thing like your creation is actually worth something, because it's always worth something even if it's not being paid for, but it's whether or not you want to keep shaking it for free or if you actually want people to pay for it. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think people are often afraid of talking about money um when it comes to like creative stuff, because it feels like it should be this like self-expression thing, but then you've got
right.
people whose whole career is supported by their writing. So yeah,
Yeah.
different strokes for different folks, I think. I don't know if that's an appropriate saying.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Definitely so.
so you have sold all three of your like books, right?
Mhm. Yep.
What was that process like for you? Because you've already said that you didn't learn the skills initially, and you've had to learn as you've gone along. Has it gotten easier since you've sold the third one? How's that been for you?
Um, I mean, yes and no. I think it's always difficult, the process, but the process has become routine.
Mm,
So I think that that helps a lot. Like, it's not a surprise. I typically know what to expect, although, the writing world will always throw you some curveballs. Um, but generally speaking, yeah, like it's just kind of been baked into my routine, to
mm,
where submitting it's just second nature. Rejections are I mean, first nature. Second, what you know, like rejection just happened. They don't. They used to bug me, but like that was part of the growing process too. Is like some of them, of course, still hurt, still sting or whatever. But
Cool.
like,
Yeah.
but generally, like those don't even bother me anymore. I hate to say I'm numb, but it's kind of like
Mm. You
like
don't feel it.
there are tens of thousands of people submitting work all the time.
Yeah.
A rejection is a rejection. It's just the way it is. And like I also try to like live by the like no one's obligated to take my stuff.
Hmm.
So it's like, okay, you didn't want it. That's just what it is, you
Hmm.
know? So but as far as the like selling the process high clover,
Hmm.
like it started well, can we reframe the question?
Sure.
What about the process, I guess,
So,
after the third
like,
book now has it
yeah, has it gotten easier to go through the whole thing? Because you said it was routine.
mhm,
Was it like, because I know for some people, you see it all over Twitter and all that sort of stuff, where people are like pulling teeth trying to get somebody to pick up the book, and you've been
yeah,
able to sell 3 of them, which is a massive achievement.
it,
And to 2 different presses, I think. So the first 2 were Tenebrous and the 3rd was Clash.
mhm, yep.
I was like, I knew it was a punk band. I couldn't remember which one. So yeah, like, was that process any easier for you? Are you like writing to the market a bit more now? Like,
Um,
how is that going?
I don't know. I don't know if I would say I write to the market just because I feel like the market changes so much that I don't know how to write to the market. I
Mm,
know very generally, like I feel like 4 or 5 years ago, if you were writing about like sentient mushrooms and spores and that kind of stuff, that was huge for a while. But like
mhm,
I'm also like I'm kind of a slow writer, so even if I were to write to something that was more like in or whatever, by the
mhm,
time I get the thing done, let alone sell it, it's
mhm.
probably not gonna be relevant anymore anyway.
Yeah.
Or at least as far as the market trends go, like I
Mhm,
think my approach is just writing work that I think is true to me
mhm,
and true to just what I'm, trying to convey. So they're relatively evergreen, I
mhm,
guess. I also like, um, yeah, like everything I do is probably going to be some genre blend of something.
mhm,
And a lot of the presses that I respect and follow and would like to publish with
mhm,
are always going to jive with that. So like that's why I'm less of a like I don't know if I'd say I don't specifically write to certain markets, but like I feel like I know, you start to learn the tastes of what some people might like and be like,
mhm,
okay, this person might like this. This
mhm,
person probably wouldn't, so I'm going to try to send it to one person over another first and like just
mhm.
hope that something happens. Yeah, I don't know if that answers the question necessarily, but
That's okay. It sounds like you've gotten to know your own personal market very well, and you know sort of who to pitch to, which is half the battle. I think sometimes writers will fall short because they'll have these expectations of their success, and they'll try and write to that thing, or maybe I don't know. I feel like that sometimes a lot of compromise comes along, and I'm wondering if you have felt that you have needed to in the past compromise your storytelling to fit the needs of a publisher.
um, I feel like less so with my longer work, actually. I
Mhm.
feel like more with short fiction, I
Oh.
find myself um, only because certain markets are just very tuned into what they do.
Mm,
And you have such fewer words to work with that, like, they're more like their budget can only support,
mhm,
I mean, say an issue, they can only buy 30,000 words total.
mhm,
If I try to send them an 8,000 word story, that's nearly third of their budget. They're probably not going to take it because they're probably going to want to sculpt. put together
Mhm.
an anthology or what, or an issue or whatever
Mhm.
of a little bit more variety or whatever the case might be. So like I feel like word length is where I like uh feel like word length is probably where I like take the most
Mhm.
hits as far as that goes. Because um yeah, I've got a couple in Midwestern Chrome that I tried to sell forever.
Hmm.
And I think they're fucking lightning. They're so good. I love these stories. Like they're really so good, but like
Mm.
one of them is over 5K that
Mhm.
took me like 3 years to sell.
Wow.
And I whittled it down from over 6,000 to do that.
Mm.
Um, and to be fair, the story's much better,
Yeah.
after chipping it away a little bit. But like,
Mhm.
um, yeah, there's a couple stories in Chrome that are over 7,000 words that they're they're awesome. I love them so
Mhm.
much, and um, I'm not sure I'd have ever been able to really like find a market for them were they
Mm.
not a part of a collection
Mhm.
to be bought as a whole, like as a package kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's tough out there.
It really is, and the market is so saturated with people asking for attention.
Mm,
Like, that's what I have observed over this past few years that I've been sort of in it, is that there are just so many things to read and so
yeah,
many people writing things, and I love that so much, but it also makes it incredibly difficult because people only like people's reading speeds are so different, and I'll read in like 100 books in a year or something. But like some people can do like 20 and that is a lot for them. And so when you sort of average that out, like if people have only got so much attention and they've only got so much like funding to be able to buy books. Um yeah, I don't know. It is tough out there. Um, Before I ask you about your newest book, I'm gonna just say hello to Ellen Holmes, who is the founder of the Small Spec Book Awards.
oh,
Thank you
awesome.
for being
Hey,
here. She's so nice. So you have a new book coming out, which is currently available for pre-order, called "Help! I Can't Stop Shitting Snakes," which is such a good title. It's such a good title. So this QR code leads to the listing on NetGalley. For some reason, it's like eaten the other half. But I think it looks better like that, so I'm going to put it like that because the cover's sick. Could you tell us a bit about this new book that you've got coming out?
sure. So Snakes is a like a literary bizarro body horror
Mhm.
novella about. I mean, on the surface, it's about a dude who shits snakes.
Amazing.
But it really is like I think people, or at least I hope people will like, take a sec to like obviously it's intentional. The title is very striking
Mhm.
and very like, oh, okay, a little in your face, but
Mhm.
like underneath the book's definitely about like our medical care system in the US,
Mhm.
and family planning,
Mhm.
and uh that kind of stuff. Like there's a
Mhm.
lot of um like millennial malaise. There's a lot of that going on in there too. So
Yeah.
um I do think under the catchy title and everything, there's a lot more working under the surface
Mhm.
that I hope people jive with. So
Mhm. So for something that dives into quite deep and almost touchy subjects, are these things that you're quite passionate about as a person and you wanted to incorporate them into a story, or did you just start writing the story and it all sort of fell into place?
um, a little bit of both.
Okay.
So um, yeah, I feel like so the the title, almost never happens. In fact, this might be the only time it's ever happened. The title came to me first.
Oh,
Um,
amazing.
and that never happens.
Mhm.
So like the title came to me, and um, and part of it really came from like, you always see on like YouTube shorts of like some giant fucking snake in someone's toilet in like Australia or whatever, and it's like, nah,
No, thank
can't
you.
can't do it, can't can't do it.
Mhm.
Um, so like it was kind of the title and an image that
Okay.
came to me, and then like it weirdly enough to say, I don't want to say this was like it wasn't a throwaway idea, but it really was one of those on my like list of ideas that I have written down on paper next to my computer of like,
Mhm.
hey, I want to do this, I want to maybe do this, I want to do this, right?
Yeah.
This was one that I was like, I'll chip away at it at some point.
Mhm.
And then I had just wrapped up. So the Midwestern Chrome is actually, it's not out yet. It's out in 2 months.
Oh, okay.
And I had just wrapped up doing some revising on that,
Mhm.
submitting that, um, and I was kind of figuring out what to write next. That's something that always happens whenever I finish something. There's always this this god awful period of where my brain's like, well, now what, dude? And when really I should be resting and like recouping and maybe just like enjoying myself for a little bit, my
Mhm.
brain decides to say like, what's next? What are you going to work on? And so anyway, during that time period, I was still trying to figure out, okay, Chrome is figured out. Chrome is finished for what it is, finished at that point,
Mhm.
um, submitted. What are you going to do next? And I kind of dawdled with, um, I've had this other novella in my head that I have tried to write
Mm.
3 or 4 times now, like, and with always like varying levels of like success. I get 2,000 words of an intro, 4,000 words, whatever,
Mhm.
and I just can't quite pin it down.
Okay.
So then I decided to put that aside again. I'll touch it later. We'll figure it out.
Mhm.
And then, um, yeah, I just sat down and was like, sure, I'll start messing with the snakes book. And then it ended up being, I think, I busted through that thing in like 2 or 3 months,
Oh, wow.
and it was last year during, uh, like I think I started it late February ish, and I was done by Easter,
Wow.
so mid April somewhere in there, and it was one of those where it just kind of like something clicked, and I said, all right, let's do this thing. And then as I was writing, uh, it it became very clear like, oh, this is what this is about.
Interesting. Okay.
So
Mhm.
and then it from there, honestly, it was kind of easy enough to be
Mhm.
like, okay, well, like this is what it's about.
Mhm.
you're you're not short on millennial malaise. That'll be easy to figure out. And then but all the other stuff, both passionate about, as
Mm.
far as um like my wife and I have decided, like, we both work in the education system.
Mhm.
We aren't going to have kids, like, and that's just something we decided. And I mean, for a while, you get badgered by parents and in-laws and stuff about kids, and like,
Mhm.
and not even to just throw them under the bus or anything, because like, I mean, my family's great, but at the same time, it's like,
It's the
okay,
expectation, isn't it?
yeah. But then like, it's not only just that, but like, I mean, you get fucking coworkers nosing into your business about that stuff too, and it's just like, and like, you'll hear like, I remember, having a coworker who like, I mean, I work with kids every day. That's part of my job. I run the after school program, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And like, you'll have coworkers that are like, oh, you'd be a really good dad. And I'm just like, fuck off, man. Like, you don't
Yeah.
know. I get I get that the intention is coming from a good place.
Hmm.
So it's not meant to be like, you know,
Yeah.
disrespectful or whatever. But at the same time, it's also like, come on, like, I don't,
It's thought. I feel like it's thoughtless
yeah,
and not considerate of the individual. Personally, like being someone with a womb, it's expected that I'll fill it with a child at some point, and that is not on my list. It's not my to-do list. I mean, like I've got stuff to do, and it's not that. But when people say
right,
like I would be a good mom, I go, I am to my dog. Like that's as far as that's going. Like I'm a caregiver to a being that relies on me, and that's enough. Like that
right,
is, I don't have to give up my time
right.
or my resources.
Oh,
Are you kidding me in this economy?
yeah. I mean, I'm incredibly selfish of my time,
Mhm.
like
Me too.
incredibly selfish of my time. And maybe it's not even selfishness. It's just,
Mhm.
it's my fucking time to do what I want with it. But anyway,
Mhm.
there's all that. And like, um, and it went, um, I don't know.
Like the
I had
healthcare
another
system
thought
in
that it
general.
dissipated,
Yeah,
but
it's okay. I mean, the healthcare system in general here is challenging to navigate. Like coming like as an outsider, I'm so used to being able to be like, I need to see you, doctor, and they're like, yes, that's fine, and it all happens, and then it's for free. Like there are still flaws in public healthcare, obviously, like wait times and things like that. But um, I find myself now going, it'll probably be fine because I can't bear the thought of how much the thing will cost. And
yeah.
I have like loads of like reproductive healthcare problems. Um, and I love places like Planned Parenthood because you can get like regular gynecological care at like a really affordable rate, but you shouldn't have to go to like, you should be able to just go to the doctor and it's fine. Do you know what I mean? It's bonkers to me. It's really crazy.
Yeah,
But yeah,
for real.
yeah.
Yeah. And so you couple that
Mhm.
with like, I mean, I've had, some things like healthcare things where I've had to
Mhm.
like do XYZ and then like the amount is just insurmountable sometimes.
Mhm.
Or um, you know, uh I don't know, I've had docs just say some of the most asinine things to me where I'm like, you're a medical doctor and your that just came out of your mouth like completely bonkers. Um, but yeah, so
Yeah, I think you probably, much like a lot of people that live here, have like endless examples of how it's been an absolute like mindfuck.
yeah,
Um, but yeah,
absolutely.
well, I love that you've been able to pack subjects that are so important to you into a work of fiction that will hopefully, like as you say, with the catchy title and the fun cover, draw people in and teach them something. Like I read an eco horror recently and I didn't know that's what it was. I don't tend to read blurbs. I go, that title sounds like something I would read, and I just read stuff.
Mhm.
And at first I was like, cool. Like there's some really cool deaths and things like that in it, 'cause I love horror and things like that. And by the end of it, I was like, man, I feel so bad about my plastic usage. I love books like that where I don't feel like I'm being preached at. It convinces me in a way to consider something in a different light or from a different perspective. And I think it's so important that we have access to works of fiction and non-fiction that help us to grow as people, because otherwise, what are we doing?
Mm, yeah, for real.
Mm. We have had Tim McKay join us in the chat, and I'd like to just show you this lovely compliment. I call him Uncle Tim, and he too has a nice beard.
Well,
So that's nice. Little beard bud.
thank you so much. Sorry for the like weird. I really do feel like like I'm in a haunted basement. Maybe my basement is haunted. It's just the lighting's so weird. And anyway,
That's all
yeah,
right. The beard shines through. That's all
yeah,
right.
apparently so. Yeah.
So there are
So,
always a couple of questions that I ask at the end of every show, and
yeah.
I'm going to do that now. So my first one is, as a writer, what does success look like to you?
Hmm.
You
So
can be honest.
Well, I think it's tough because genuinely, I think the goalposts just shift.
Yeah.
So, like, success a few years ago looked different than what success looks like now.
Mhm.
Um, and like, I mean, obviously, I wouldn't, I wouldn't call it success because I don't think it's a very healthy way to look at that topic. But
Okay.
pipe dream would be, I can just do this full time and make money off books, right? Like,
Mhm.
I mean, that I feel like most writers, that's probably the dream, right?
Yes.
Um, but I don't think it's a realistic like goalpost for success just because of like, Vonnegut could sell short stories and make a living. He was able to quit his corporate job in the 60s or the 50s to just start selling short stories like that. We don't exist in that world anymore. Um, but so for me, I think right now success is honestly just uh, staying passionate about writing and
Mhm.
like keeping at it, um, keeping producing some stories I am
Mhm.
passionate about and like I feel comfortable with.
Mhm.
Um, and I think I'm kind of, you know, I'm still early in my writing career. I think,
Mhm.
like it's cool. I've got two books coming out in the next 6 months, which is something I never thought I'd say. Like that's pretty phenomenal.
Very cool.
But I think a big part of it, uh, yeah, I think success is kind of. I kind of want to move into a little bit of like also helping people achieve what their goal of success would be. Um, I'm still a new writer, but I
Mhm.
still have a lot of experience under my belt, so I think
Mhm.
that I could help folks. But
Oh,
also,
definitely.
yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want to lose the spark.
Mhm.
There are times like I always go back and forth between like, have I lost it already? Like I can't. I forgot how to write. Like what do I do? Um, and I want to not lose that.
Mhm.
So
Awesome. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. I always find, the reason why I said at the beginning, like, you can be honest, is that I do think people are a bit shy about being honest about that question. Because I know, like, sometimes in somebody's heart of hearts, they want to have a Netflix special made of their work. Did you catch that? I don't know if I disappeared or if you did.
you disappeared very briefly.
Okay, yeah. I'll just quickly repeat it. So, I think sometimes people have these, like, dream goals of, "I want there to be a Netflix special of my book," or whatever, and they're scared to say it. Just say it. It's alright. It's okay to want those things. It's okay to want, success at a level that feels virtually impossible, because if you don't have something to dream for, then what's the point in doing anything? I think it's important to have dreams and have goals and aspirations, even if they are like a million to one chance of happening. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's the only thing that can keep you going with the thing you're doing. So, yeah.
absolutely.
So, my last question that I always ask everybody is, and you can pick what period of time in your life this relates to. But if you could go back to when you were like first writing, whether you were like dabbling in it as a kid, or when you first started taking it seriously to publish things, if you could go back and give yourself any advice, what advice would you give?
Oh boy. Um, oof. That's tough because there's so much advice. I mean, probably just keep at it. And uh, a piece of advice I was given: uh, there's a comic artist
Mhm,
named Phil Hester, um, and I was at a con however many years ago it's been. But anyway,
mhm,
he said something that was just trust your creativity, and that little phrase has kind of just stuck with me ever since. Because I think it can mean any number of things, but I think a lot of it at its heart is just like listening to yourself, being true to yourself, Like,
Mhm.
trust that what you're doing, like, in terms of writing, especially, it can be edited,
Yeah.
like you can fix it later. Just trust whatever you're working on.
Mhm.
Like, it'll be all right. So,
That's nice. That's nice advice. Well, I just want to thank you so much for your time today and for telling me about your process and your experiences and all about your writing. And I hope that people will check out your work. There are links in the description below. There's a link to NetGalley in the QR code, but that link is also below. I've made it very easy for you, so go do it. Thank you to those who joined us live, and thank you to those who are watching this as a recording. I appreciate all of you. I hope you all have a lovely day. And Michael, I will see you on the other side.
well, thank you for having me.
Of course, it was a pleasure. Goodbye, everybody.
See ya.